One single glance. That's all it took to turn anyone to stone forever. But was Medusa really born a monster, or did someone else turn her into one? Few figures in Greek mythology are as misunderstood as Medusa. We know her as the snake-haired monster with a deadly gaze, but her story is far darker and far more human than most people realize. Today, we'll uncover where the curse really came from, who actually punished her, how her image changed over the centuries, and why she eventually became a symbol of invincibility. Most people don't know that Medusa wasn't always a monster. According to one version of the myth, she was once a beautiful priestess in Athena's temple, the only mortal among the three Gorgon sisters. While the other two, Stheno and Euryale, were immortal, Medusa's beauty was so striking that it caught the attention of Poseidon, god of the sea. What happened next is one of the most disputed moments in Greek mythology. Poseidon seduced or, according to other versions, assaulted a Medusa right there inside Athena's temple. Athena was furious, but not at Poseidon. For the desecration of her sacred temple. She punished Medusa instead, transforming her into a snake-haired creature whose gaze turned anyone who met her eyes to stone. Interestingly, ancient Greek art didn't always portray Medusa this way. On the earliest vase paintings, dating back to the mid-5th century BCE, Medusa appears almost peacefully, sleeping, looking entirely human. It wasn't until much later, in the hands of Roman and Renaissance artists, that she truly became the terrifying, snake-covered monster we picture today. This transformation wasn't random. Every era projected its own fears onto her. This is the moment that still divides people today. Many now interpret Medusa not as a villain, but as a victim, punished for her own suffering. Divine justice in Greek myths was rarely just in the modern sense. It was often about power, and it was almost always the weaker party who paid the price, not the stronger one. From then on, Medusa lived in exile on a remote island, where anyone who found her, a curious traveler or armed warrior alike, turned to stone at the sight of her. Some argue this wasn't really a curse at all anymore, but protection, the only weapon she had left against those who came to hurt her. Medusa's story didn't end there. A young demigod, Perseus, was given a task: bring back Medusa's head as proof of his courage. The gods helped him. Athena, the very goddess who had cursed Medusa, now gave Perseus a mirrored shield, so he could face Medusa's reflection instead of her direct gaze. Hermes gave him winged sandals, and Hades lent him his helm of invisibility. Perseus found Medusa asleep and beheaded her, using the mirror to avoid the curse. According to legend, at that very moment to being sprang from her body, Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysaor, a giant wielding a golden sword, both children of Poseidon, hidden within her all along. But the story didn't stop there. Medusa's severed head never lost its power. Perseus used it as a weapon, turning his enemies to stone, before finally giving it to Athena, who mounted it on her shield, the Aegis, so it would protect her forever. Medusa's image has been reinterpreted for thousands of years. In antiquity, she was a symbol of protection. Her face was carved into buildings, shields, and jewelry to ward off evil. The Gorgon's head, known as the Gorgonian, appeared almost everywhere protection was needed. Temple entrances, warriors' armor, even household objects. In modern times, though, she's increasingly seen as a victim of injustice and abuse of power, which is exactly why a famous luxury fashion brand chose her as its logo, and why she appears so often in feminist reinterpretations today. Many contemporary artists and writers now portray Medusa not as a monster, but as a survivor, someone who forged strength out of her own pain, a monster who never actually wanted to be one, and whose story keeps being rewritten with every generation. If Medusa's real story caught your interest, follow the channel. Every week we uncover a new mythological figure, looking past everything everyone already knows about them.